3, I guess, of the regional game.
Leading off for the Indians is shortstop Drew Young. On deck, right fielder Jace Armstrong. Left fielder Cole Shoemaker.
The Indians will bring up their 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Drew Young, Jace Armstrong, Cole Shoemaker. The pitch from Gertson is outside 1-0. Drew Young on the year is batting in the 8th spot. Takes a strike, 1-1. Young this season, .327 hitter in his first season on varsity, 17 for 52. Indians down 1-0 to the Crusaders. Pitch from Gertson bounced straight back into the fence where we are sitting, 1-2. Young with 5 extra base hits this year, 3 doubles, a triple, and a home run. Pitch on the way to Young, fouled third base side, and it is still 1-2. Young, the leadoff hitter for the third, trying to help the Indians get back their run from the bottom of the second. Takes a pitch outside. It is 2-2. 26 pitches through 2 innings for Jack Gertson, the starter for Buhler, who's 2-4 this year, but he's been up against the top pitcher for other teams most of the time and had some hard luck games. Now Young right side to Ethan White, throws to first in time, and there's one away in the third. The Indians thus far with just a single base runner. Cole Shoemaker struck out to open the game, but reached on the third strike that got away from the catcher. Shoemaker advanced to third, but no further. Indians have been retired in order since. Pitch to Jace Armstrong. Misses 1-0. Armstrong, the right fielder, batting in the 9th spot, then he'll turn the order over. Armstrong this year, 4 for 16. That's a .250 average. Takes the advantage to a 2-0 count. Armstrong has now looked at a third pitch that misses, 3-0. Armstrong has walked just one time in his 16 at-bats. Armstrong ahead in the count, 3-0. Gertson hits the strike zone with the 3-0 pitch, 3-1, with Armstrong taking the lead, taking all the way. Hayes High softball takes a 2-0 lead after the first inning as they get a 2-run home run from Tessa Stickle after the first inning. Now a offering in the dirt, swing and a miss by Armstrong. It's 3-2. Pitch to Armstrong on the 3-2 misses, and Armstrong works the out, or works the walk and is aboard at first for the Indians' second base runner.
Now batting left fielder Cole Shoemaker, on deck second baseman Dalton Stout.
That'll bring up the top of the order Cole Shoemaker, who bunts first base side. It's in the air. Diving is going to be Gertson. He records the out, and back at first is Shoemaker. Indians 2 sacrifice bunts today, both pop-ups right to the pitcher, Jack Gertson. So that'll bring up Dalton Stout. Stout with Armstrong at first, looks at a pitch in the dirt, 1-0. Stout had a sacrifice bunt attempt back in the first, and that went back to the pitcher for an out. Throw to first, Armstrong back in time. Armstrong, a 1-out walk. Indians trail 1-0 in the top of the third. Before the walk by Armstrong, there had been 7 retired in a row by Gertson, and now a pitch fouled away by Dalton Stout, 1-1. Stout this year, .362, after batting .426 a year ago. Armstrong at first. Throw over to first by Gertson is dropped by the first baseman. Burkhart would not have been in time anyway. It is 1-1. Indians trying to make Jack Gertson work his pitch count. The lefty deals the 1-1 to Stout. Stout barrels it up, but foul. And it's 1-2. Indians have made some solid contact, but for the most part, they have been behind the hitting, or behind the pitching of Jack Gertson. Now takes an extra moment on the mounds. Stout back in from the right side. Out on a sacrifice bunt in the first inning. Pitch on the way to Stout. Takes the breaking pitch. Wanted to swing, but held back. 2-2. He's high down by a run. 1-0, top of the third. They have not recorded a hit yet. Armstrong at first. The 2-2. Armstrong is running. Stout will take. It is a strikeout at home. The stolen base is negated, and the inning is over. Stout caught looking, and the Indians are down in the top of the third. After the top of the third, Hayes High down 1-0 to Buhler at the regional tournament in McPherson. This is Hayes High Indian baseball. And we move along to the bottom of the third inning. Hayes High down 1-0 to the Buhler Crusaders, who got their run on a pair of two-out singles in the bottom of the second. Indian baseball is brought to you by Hertz Rent-A-Car, Shelter Insurance Agent Dustin Shoemaker, Kevin Shoemaker Construction, Adams Brown, Barron & Ball, and Steel Fabrications. First offering from Marcus Altman to Ethan White is called a strike, 0-1. Ethan White today 0-1, grounded out to the pitcher. Marcus Altman back in the first to lead off the bottom of the first. White takes a pitch low, 1-1. The pitch to Altman, or from Altman to Connor Rule. Takes it on a short hop across the diamond in time, and there's one away in the third. Rule at third base, Dawson Harmon behind the plate. That's a switch made here late in the season. White down for a second time. He's 0 for 2. Brings up Tristan Hawkinson, the center fielder. Hawkinson, a soft line drive to Dawson Harmon at second base back in the first inning, 0 for 1 today. The pitch, Hawkinson will take, and it misses inside, 1-0. Hawkinson, 271 hitter. Pitch up.
Misses, 2-0.
28 pitches through 2 innings for Altman, who sees Hawkinson foul one down in the dirt, 2-1. Hawkinson this year has appeared in all now 21 games, 271 hitter, 16 runs, 8 driven in, struck out 12 times. As a team, Buhler has struck out 86 times this year. Pitch misses, 3-1. Buhler has 5 players with double-digit strikeouts this year. The 3-1 from Altman on the way, swing and a miss at a fastball upstairs, 3-2. One away here, bottom of the third. Hayes High down by the score of 1-0. Altman looks into Dawson Harmon. Works quickly on the 3-2, hit over top of the third baseman. Connor Rule into left field where Cole Shoemaker will run it down. Hawkinson going for 2. The throw not in time, and there is a one-out double for Tristan Hawkinson. Hawkinson, with his 4th extra base hit this year, all have been doubles. That brings up Jace Williams, who struck out back in the first inning when the Crusaders went in order. Williams 0 for 1 today off of that strikeout. A above 500 hitter, an aggressive swing at an off-speed pitch, 0-1. And he was way out ahead of that pitch, fooled on what is expecting a fastball. 525 this year, 32 hits, far and away leads Buhler this year. At spin, no throw to second. Diving back in is Hawkinson. 32 hits for Williams this year. Next most on the team, 20 by Hunter Ogburn, 20 by Dylan England. Williams with 32 out of 61 at-bats. Pops one up, right side. Armstrong drifts underneath of it and records the out. Hawkinson is going to return to second, and there's two away. A strong throw from Armstrong. Young hustled back to second, where Hawkinson beats him by about a step and a half.
Now batting left fielder Hunter Ogburn, on deck right fielder Dylan England.
Williams 0 for 2 today. That'll bring up Hunter Ogburn. Robbed of a hit in the third. He ripped one to the hole at shortstop, where a diving play by Drew Young ended up saving a run because of the two singles later in the inning that scored one run instead of two. The pitch to Ogburn is outside, 1-0. Ogburn 0 for 1 today. 323 hitter, second on the team with 20 hits. One of three players with 20 hits. For the second most on the team, Ogburn late on a fastball. It's 1-1. Ogburn, a team-high 19 runs driven in. One of four players with double-digit RBI on the season. The 1-1 from Altman. A check of the runner at second brings the pitch in off speed. Makes it 1-2 on the swing and miss. 1 on, 2 out, a 1-out double by Tristan Hawkinson. Altman from the stretch. Does he go off speed again? The 1-2. He does. Swing and a miss. The Harmon picks up the drop third strike, throws to first in time. The inning is over. Altman with his third strikeout of the day. The Indians down after 3 innings, 1-0 on Hayes High Indian Baseball. Hey, throw the legal in, please. Hayes High is going to try to put something together here in the fourth inning, trailing 1-0 to the Buhler Crusaders. Indian Baseball brought to you by Precision Valley Golf Center, Crop Production Services of Hayes, Horizon Appliance and Electronics, Nextech, Heartland Building Center, and Midwest Energy. Connor Rule, Marcus Altman, Braden Delzite to the plate, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters who are combined 0 for 3. Indians held without a hit so far. Indians did have 2 runners thus far. One reaching after a drop third strike, the other on a walk, both left stranded, and a pitch from Jack Gertson called a strike to Connor Rule. Rule worked to count to 3-2 and then grounded out to Williams back in the first inning. Fouls one past coach Frank Leo, behind in the count 0-2. The third baseman for the Indians trying to become the 14th player in Indian history for a career 400 batting average. Pitch on the way from Gertson is taken outside, 1-2. Rule batting .453 this year, 24 hits, giving him 81 in his career. His 42 career walks tied 6th all-time. Takes a pitch, 2-2. Rule with 16 walks this year. A lot of those in the Diamond Classic where nobody was giving him anything to hit, and now golfs one into left field where Hunter Ogburn steps back about 6 steps and records the first out of the 4th inning. And Rule's 0 for 2. Bringing up Marcus Altman, the pitcher, who grounded out to end the first inning with a runner at third base. Altman trying to help his cause today. Altman, .407 this season, one of 4 players trying to hit .400 on the year for the Indians. Pitch on the way to Altman, first pitch swinging, fouls it out of play, 0-1. Altman on the year, .407. Delzite, .400. Fonensteel, .415. Rule, .453. All 4 trying to become .400 hitters in a season. Altman has the bat fly out of his hands after he foul-tipped the ball, 0-2. One of the coaches for Buhler will retrieve the bat over by the third base dugout. There's been 50 occurrences of players hitting .400 in a season at Hayes High. 98, there were 5 players. 06 and 01, 4 players. 09 and 05, 3 players. Indians have a chance for 4 this year. The 0-2 to Altman. 1 out, top of the 4th, pitch from Gertson, and Altman fouls it away. Still 0-2. Delzite on deck for the Indians, trying to get something going in the top of the 4th against Jack Gertson with a sub-1 ERA. And opponents batting just .158 against him this year. Altman takes out of the strike zone, 1-2. The 1-2 from Gertson will not happen. Altman calls for time. The third strike gets away from the catcher, and Altman is going to be safe at first. The throw from the catcher, Schultz, pulled Burkhardt off the bag. Altman beats it out, and for a second time, an Indian strikes out, but reaches via a dropped third strike. It is the third strikeout of the day for Gertson. Burkhardt had to come off of first, swung around and tried to get the tag, but could not. Now Delzite, first pitch swinging, foul territory, out of play, 0-1. Delzite grounded out to open up the second, see if the Indians can take advantage of the error. Hayes High trying to just manufacture a run here. Still without a hit, top of the 4th. Throw over to first. Altman back in time. Marcus can steal. 3 stolen bases this year, 19 in his career. Delzite, again, will not see a pitch. Throw over to Altman, or to force Altman back into first. Not in time. 0-1 to Braden Delzite, the designated hitter. Batting for catcher Dawson Harmon. Pitch on the way to Delzite. He will take for a strike, 0-2. Altman reached on a drop third strike, then a throw that pulled Burkhardt off the bag. Altman at first will have to hustle back in again, throw over. So far it's been a pitch, 2 throw-overs, a pitch, and a throw-over. Delzite down in the count, 0-2. 1 away in the 4th. Indians down by a run, 1-0, but have yet to get a hit. Pitch to Delzite. Delzite up the first base side, foul. Still 0-2. Indians 12-8 on the year, a sweep of Cape and Mount Carmel to start the year, a loss to Derby, and then a win over Valley Center, and then swept Dodge City. Hayes High started the year 5-1, went 7-7 rest of the way. The pitch to Delzite. Delzite takes, and it's 2-2. 1-2. 43 pitches through 3 innings for Gertson. 43 pitches through 3 innings for Altman, who has a lead at first. And again, a throw over to first. Altman back in time. Ball got away from Burkhardt, but not far enough away to advance the runner. Indian baseball today is being brought to you by USAFE Pharmacy, Gibbs Auto Supply in Hayes and La Crosse, Simpson Farm Enterprises, and Edward Jones, Darrell, Jeff, and Linda Seibel. Altman running, the pitch on the way outside the strike zone. Altman slides in safely at second for the stolen base. And it's 2-2 to Braden Delzite, who took the pitch high. So the Indians' second stolen base of the year, Altman with his 4th of the season and 20th of his career. So the Indians with a runner in scoring position for Braden Delzite, the designated hitter. Indians down a run, but have a runner in scoring position, 1 out in the 4th inning. Pitch to Delzite high, and it's 3-2. Delzite was down in the count 0-2 and fouled away a pitch. Now has taken 3 consecutive pitches outside the strike zone. Delzite, if nothing else, trying to advance the runner with 1 out. Pitch on the way. Delzite hits it back up the middle. White is on it. He'll throw to first in time, and there's 2 away. So Delzite does advance the runner, but now there's 2 outs. Delzite 0 for 2, bringing up Jared Haynes, the Fort Hays signee, trying to drive in the tying run. The senior batting .283 this year, does have 12 runs batted in. Walked 5 times back in the Diamond Classic after walking 4 times in just the first 12 games of the year. Struck out 13 times, walked 10 on the year. The pitch from Gertson, outside 1-0. Gertson has really fought the strike zone today, but has battled back to really baffle the Indians. The pitch to Haynes. Haynes to right field, where Dylan England is on for the catch, moving over 3 short steps, and the inning is over. Hayes High gets a runner to third off a dropped third strike for a second time today, but cannot advance a run home. After the top half of the 4th, Indians trail Buhler 1-0. This is Hayes High Indian baseball. Softball. Move along to the bottom of the 4th inning. Marcus Altman back out on the mound, allowing just a pair of singles that scored a run and a double that resulted in no runs. Hayes High down 1-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning to Buhler at the regional tournament. Indian baseball brought to you by Discount Siding Supply, Lifetime Dental Care, State Glass Company, Lewis Automotive Group at the softball regional in Hayes. Hayes High is leading Buhler now 4-2 after 3 innings. Hayes High the 1 seed at 8-10. Buhler winless on the year. Pitch misses to Dylan England, the left-handed batting right fielder. Altman to work the 1-0 pitch. That one is up the middle to the shortstop, Drew Young. Takes it off the grass, across the diamond in time, and there's 1 away, and Dylan England is 0 for 2 today. Altman has pitched well. He's allowed 3 hits, but he's gotten no run support. The Indians down 1-0 here at the regional tournament. That'll bring up Lawson Schultz, who started the 2-out rally back in the 2nd. A pair of singles. Schultz a single and a stolen base, and came home on the Jake Burkhart single to make it 1-0. Pitch to Schultz. It's 0-1 on the strike. Altman dealing quickly. Misses the strike zone 1-1. With the RBI, Schultz this year has 14. That ties Jace Williams for the team high. Pitch to Schultz. It's a strike, 1-2. Altman already back to the rubber. The 1-2 on the way. Check swing, no swing, and it's 2-2. Altman has struck out 3, 1 in each inning. In fact, has ended each of the 3 innings so far with a strikeout. An appeal down to first. There was no swing. All 3 strikeouts by Altman today have ended an inning. Pitch on the way. Hit back into the screen. Still 2-2. Schultz, the catcher this year for Buhler, took over those duties a year ago after an injury. Took over as a freshman when Zach Stiles was hurt. Pitch to Schultz misses. Now 3-2. Just the second full count pitch today. Pitch on the way. 3-2 is lined to the second baseman, Dalton Stout, and there's 2 away. And Schultz is 1 for 2 today, who's still scored the only run thus far. With 2 away, that'll bring up Jake Burkhart. Burkhart today is driven in the only run. 1 for 1 with a single. Bats from the left side. Pitch from Altman. Breaking pitch that misses the strike zone. 1-0. Burkhart got the RBI single on the hit to right field. Hits it right side on a second hop to Haynes. Haynes will field himself, and the inning is over. 3 up, 3 down. Hayes High back to the plate in the top of the 5th. Down a run to Buhler on Hayes High Indian baseball. Darn it. Because we're on TV too. Oh, boys, come on. You want to make this interesting at least? Whew. Chilly. Warm in the sun, chilly where I'm sitting. To the top of the 5th, where Hayes High trails 1-0 to the Buhler Crusaders at the regional tournament. Winner gets McPherson, first-rated team in the state in 4A Division I. In the regional championship, they beat the Ulysses Tigers 13-3 in 6 innings and a run rule. Indian baseball brought to you by Canterbury Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery, Leon's Welding and Fabrication, Ellis County Abstract and Title, Discovery Drilling, and Progressive Physical Therapy. Indians no hits so far by Jack Gertson. 7, 8, and 9 hitters coming to the plate for Hayes High. Jared Fonensteel, Drew Young, and Jace Armstrong. See if the Indians can get some speed on the base paths. 62 pitches through 4 innings for the left-handed pitcher Jack Gertson. Indians pitcher Marcus Altman has thrown 54. Altman's only allowed 3 hits, but 2 of those back-to-backs with a stolen base in between. Made it 1-0 with 2 outs back in the 2nd inning. So here's Jared Fonensteel, the center fielder, flew out to center field and is only at bat in the 2nd inning. Takes a strike, 0-1. Fonensteel 22 for 53, 22 of his 38 career hits have come in this season. Pitch on the way to Fonensteel, pops it up right side, foul territory in front of the Indians dugout. The first baseman Burkhart over to record the out. And there's 1 away. For Drew Young, the shortstop, made a great diving stop back in the 2nd inning to take a hit away from the Crusaders. And it really saved a run, unbeknownst to everybody at the time. It was the leadoff batter of the 2nd. So it was the first out. There was a 2nd out recorded. Then those back-to-back hits, it ended up saving a run. Pitch to Young, and it's Jace Williams diving and taking away a hit from Drew Young. Drew Young took 1 away from Buhler. Now Jace Williams, the shortstop, takes 1 away from Drew Young. And there is 2 away. And the Indians' first hit is taken away. Jace Armstrong comes to the plate with 2 out on just 3 pitches. Armstrong walked on a 3-2 pitch count back in the 3rd for the Indians' second base runner of the day. This one is nubbed up the first base line and went foul, came back fair, and beating it out is going to be Armstrong. Running the entire time, nobody for Buhler. Went over and touched it in foul territory. It went back into fair territory, and Armstrong beats it out for the Indians' first hit of the game in this one with 2 outs. Brings up Cole Shoemaker. Heads up base running by Armstrong. Shoemaker today is 0 for 1. Struck out but reached on a drop third strike. Fouls the first pitch away. 0-1. Shoemaker then a sacrifice bunt in the third that he popped out, and Jack Gertson, the pitcher, dove to get in the air. So Armstrong at first. Shoemaker trying to extend this 2 outs in the 5th inning. Takes a pitch, 1-1. The all-time walks leader at Hayes High with 52, passing Clint Von Feld and Hayden Hutchison, who each had 51. Pitch on the way to Shoemaker. Takes the pitch, misses the strike zone, 2-1. Armstrong just got it off the end of the bat. It was in foul territory, but Armstrong continued to run. Nobody got to it for Buhler. It went back into fair territory. Armstrong running on the pitch. He slides safely into second with the Indians' 3rd stolen base of the day. The pitch to Shoemaker, he swung on, so it's 2-2. Shoemaker can come up with his 17th hit of the year. Indians could tie the game. Shoemaker could be running on this pitch. The pitch to Shoemaker, high, 3-2, and now Armstrong will be running on the 3-2 pitch. Indians trying to tie the game, down 1-0, top of the 5th in the regional tournament. Indians get their first hit of the game. It comes in the 5th with 2 outs. Pitch on the way to Shoemaker, low, and the all-time walks leader takes his 53rd career walk, bringing up Dalton Stout. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. Dalton Stout, a sacrifice bunt that he popped to the pitcher back in the 1st, struck out looking in the 3rd, is 0 for 1 today. First, we're going to get a conversation at the mound with the Buhler coaching staff, infield, and pitcher Jack Gertson. Well, Gertson is throwing a gem today, but Hayes High threatening here in the 5th. Hayes High's gotten a runner aboard via a drop third strike in the 1st inning and 4th inning, each time getting that runner to third base with 2 outs, but not capitalizing. Indian baseball today is brought to you by Roof Masters Roofing and RM Custom Metals, M&D Incorporated, High Plains Roofing, USD 489, HayesPost.com, and Eagle Communications, our community connected. The meeting at the mound is over. Indians theoretically could have either the bases loaded or a run in right now. Drew Young, with 1 out, was robbed of a hit, a hard hit line drive right up the middle that the shortstop, Jace Williams, tagged. Indians were robbed of a hit earlier in the game as well that went off the foot of Gertson, went right to Williams at shortstop, and recorded an out. So the Indians, hard luck on a couple of occasions today. See if it turns around here. Pitch to Stout. Stout takes 1-0. Stout was up 3-1 back in the 1st, and then his sacrifice bunt was a pop-up back to the pitcher, Jack Gertson. Stout calls for time. It's grounded. The first hit of the ball game for the Indians, Jace Armstrong, came on a little number up the first base line that rolled fair, and Armstrong beat it out. Stout swinging at a letter-high fastball, fouled it away, 1-1. Stout this year with 25 hits, 62 in his career. Can try to tie the game with a single. He's driven in 13. 14 would tie the game. The 1-1 from Gertson on the way to Stout. Stout pops it up, out of play, and it's 1-2. Stout caught looking in the 3rd, one of the 3 strikeouts today for pitcher Jack Gertson. Gertson, a high strikeout pitcher this season. The lefty from the stretch. Gertson has taken some time with runners aboard. Now Stout calls for time. It's granted. Gertson this year has now struck out 41 and walked 13, including today's ball game. He's actually walked 2 now. So here's the 1-2 to Stout. Pitch on the way. Stout, third base line. It is a foul ball. Just foul. Stout was about a foot, maybe less, from tying the game here in the top of the fifth. So Stout will take a stroll back to get his bat. Look at his bat from the right-handed batter's box. Turn his attention to Gertson. 1-2 pitch count, 2-on-2 out. Indians down by a run in the top of the fifth. Pitch to Stout. Stout, hard hit ball, right field, but right to Dylan England, the right fielder. The inning is over. The Indians again threaten but get nothing out of it. After the top of the fifth, Hayes High down to Buhler, 1-0 at the regional tournament in McPherson. This is Hayes High Indian baseball. Props to the folks in McPherson for throwing on a little Red Hot Chili Peppers today. Hayes High to the bottom of the fifth inning trails Buhler, the home team in this regional semifinal, 1-0. Marcus Allman has dealt a good game so far. Just a pair of two-out singles in the second, the difference in today's contest. It is the designated hitter, third baseman, and second baseman to the plate. First pitch, a strike to Riley Dreyer. The designated hitter walked on 4 pitches back in the second and left stranded. This pitch misses, 1-1. 54 pitches through 4 innings for Marcus Altman, who works quickly the 1-1. Breaking pitch misses high, 2-1. Indians trying to advance to the regional championship. They have not been in that game in the last 4 years. Pitch on the way misses. Now 3-1. The pitch to Altman, or from Altman, fouled away. Giving it a chase for a moment was Jared Haynes, then realized it was out of play. It is 3-2. Altman walked Dreyer on 4 pitches. The 3-2 on the way is a walk. There's only been 2 walks given up today by Altman, and they're both to Riley Dreyer, the designated hitter. And that is the first leadoff runner aboard for Buhler today. It brings up Gus Quillen, the left-handed hitting third baseman. Quillen looks down the third base line. Will he be going with the bunt attempt to try to manufacture a run? Altman, quick throw over to first. Not in time, nearly threw Jared Haynes off as well. Indian baseball brought to you by Thomas More Prep Marion Alumni, Walmart Superstore, Lifetime Dental Care, and Bacon Rind Appraising Services. Throw over to first again, not in time. Quillen 0 for 1 today, struck out with runners at first and second back in the second inning. Quillen from the left side shows bunt, sends it up the third base line. It's going to roll foul where Connor Rule will touch it for a strike. Good bunt by Gus Quillen. On the grass, though, it just continued to roll foul, and Rule did a good job realizing that, A, he wasn't going to get the out at first, B, that once it went foul, he needed to touch it immediately. So Altman from the stretch, looking in on Quillen, 0-1. Walked Riley Dreyer on a 3-2 pitch count. Now Quillen fouls one straight down into the dirt, 0-2. And, boy, Altman has really been on today for the most part with that off-speed pitch. He's gotten Buhler to really struggle with it. Harmon Gives the signal from behind the plate to Marcus Altman. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss at a high fastball. Quillen's down on 3 pitches. It is strikeout number 4 of the day for the Indians. Marcus Altman, 1 on, 1 out for the top of the order, Ethan White. White, a pair of ground outs, a .294 hitter, has scored a team-high 19 times this year. Throw over to first, not in time. And really at first base, Riley Dreyer, not much of a lead. More Altman getting settled in to face the batter. The pitch to White, that one low. Harmon, a nice block. 1-0. Bottom of the 5th, Indians down 1-0. 3 hits, 1 run for Buhler. 1 hit, no runs for Hayes. And their 1 hit didn't leave the infield. In fact, it didn't even get back to the pitcher's mound. Pitch low to White. 2-0. Marcus trying to get a ground ball. White has grounded out twice. Indians may be thinking double play here. They had 5 in the game against Great Bend back in the Diamond Classic. Throw over to first, not in time. Trying to get Dreyer casually walking off of first base, but Dreyer jogs back into first. The 2-0 pitch from Altman misses, and now it's 3-0. It's just the second time today that Altman has fallen behind a batter 3-0. He walked that only batter, Riley Dreyer, back in the second. The pitch on the way, called strike, and White was taking the entire way. Buhler 15-5 on the year, won a pair of games against Circle to start the year. Split with Augusta, then swept Winfield. Pitch on the way, 3-1, hits the lower half of the strike zone, 3-2. Split with McPherson, swept Collegiate. Split with Andale. Split with Rosehill, swept Wellington. Throw over to first, not in time. Split with El Dorado, and then swept Clearwater. 3-2 to Ethan White. Here's the pitch from Altman. That one is grounded to the second baseman, Stout. Stout then bobbles. Throw to first is not in time. The Indians' first error went from what could have been a double play to safe at first and second. White is aboard for the first time. It is via an error. And first and second with 1 out. And head coach Frank Leo is going to come out and gather the infield and also talk with Marcus Altman. And you wonder if Stout was thinking a little too much on the play, thinking, do I go to second for the double play? Do I have time? Do I tag? Because the runner was going to be going in front of him. Stout may have been thinking tag and throw to first. Instead, he bobbled, and the Indians have an error on the board. There's 2 on, 1 out, bottom of the 5th as Buhler tries to extend what is right now a 1-0 lead. This visit to the mound is brought to you by Kevin Shoemaker Construction. Projects that are built to your satisfaction. It's not the number of jobs completed, but the number of jobs done right. Kevin Shoemaker Construction. Call 635-8025. Proud supporter of high school activities. So the meeting at the mound is over. Drew Young over to talk with fellow senior Dalton Stout as they head back out. Indians got what they wanted, a ground ball, but could not turn the double play. An error results in 2 on and 1 out for Tristan Hawkinson. A double back in the third. He's 1 for 2 today. Altman deals to Hawkinson up and over the head of Young, who can't make an over-the-head catch. This is going to score a run. Here's the throw from center field. It is offline, and it is 2-0. Hawkinson with the RBI single. The error looms large. Hayes High down by a pair of runs now in the bottom of the 5th. An RBI single for Tristan Hawkinson. So runners at first and second now with 1 away for Jace Williams, a dangerous hitter who's 0 for 2 today. Dreyer led off with a walk, and that has come around to hurt the Indians after an error and a single. Hawkinson now 2 for 3 today, has 2 of Buehler's 4 runs, 2 of their 4 hits. And time is called at home plate. Williams 0 for 2 today, a strikeout in the first. On 3 pitches, a fly ball to right field on 2 pitches. In the third, now bats in the 5th with 2 on and 1 out. Pitch, swing and a miss. Williams down in the count, 0-1, a .525 hitter But Altman has really been on top of the senior who's headed to Washburn for football and basketball next year. Probably could have signed to play baseball several places as well. The pitch from Altman, breaking pitch, and Williams lays off this one, 1-1. Runners at first and second, 1 out. Indians right now, victims a walk and a error in this fifth. Pitch on the way, hits Williams, or did it? No, went behind Williams, and Harmon stopped it from advancing to the screen. Credit Dawson Harmon for keeping the runners at first and seconds. Altman slowing his pace a little bit, works from the stretch. The 2-1, swing and a miss. Williams over top of it. It's 2-2. 2 on, 1 out. Bottom of the fifth, Indians down 2-0 in this end of the season game for one of these two teams. Altman a check a second, deals, breaking pitch in the dirt, 3-2. He's gotten Williams twice on a strikeout once and a fly ball to right field. Needs an out here with runners at first and second and 1 out. Already a run across on a Tristan Hawkinson RBI single. The 3-2 on the way, fouled straight down in the dirt. Remains 3-2. The inning started with a walk to Riley Dreyer, a strikeout of Gus Quillen, and the Indians got what they wanted, a 3-2 ground ball that Ethan White reached on an error, and then a RBI single by Hawkinson. The 3-2 on the way in the dirt, and the bases are loaded. So Williams walks. It is the second walk of the inning for Marcus Altman. And Hayes High has a force at home with 1 out. And a run in here in the fifth as Hunter Ogburn comes to the plate, the left fielder, and now the infield, minus a coach, are going to talk it first at the pitcher Marcus Altman right now, talking about what the play is. Indians can get at the inning with a ground ball double play. A ground ball throw home can erase a run. Indians down 2-0, bottom of the fifth, and well, you feel like, and especially the way that Jack Gertson is pitching, that this could be the ball game. Pitch to Ogburn, who's 0 for 2 today, pops it up. Shallow center field, running back now is Faunensteel. He'll make the catch. He's going to bring the throw to second base. Tagging and scoring is going to be Ethan White. Sacrifice fly to center field makes it 3-0. Ogburn gets the RBI. And it's 3-0. Good piece of hitting by Hunter Ogburn. Got something up in the zone that he could handle. And flew out to center field. Hayes High down 3-0. Now the infield back at regular depth for Dylan England, who's 0 for 2 today. Bats from the left side. Pitch on the way to England. That one misses. 1-0, and this is a lengthy inning for starter Marcus Altman. 2 across, Indians down 3-0. Just 4 hits in the game for Buhler, 1 for Hayes High. Indians plagued by a couple of walks and an error in this inning. Here's a chopper, third base side, underneath the glove of Rule, into left field. Up throwing is going to be Shoemaker. It is going to be offline, and a RBI single for Dylan England. These runs coming unearned via the error, but right now mounting up 3 across in the fifth, and the Indians down 4-0. RBI single by Dylan England. Scoring is Tristan Hawkinson. Moving from first to third, Jace Williams. Moving to second on the throw, Dylan England. 2 on, 2 outs for Lawson Schultz, the catcher, who has singled and scored back in the seconds. At the time to give Buhler a 1-0 lead. The pitch from Altman in the dirt, 1-0. 8th batter of the inning for Hayes High. 3 across. It all started with a walk, then an error, and a line drive straight back up the middle. This is going to score 1. This could score 2. It's going to, and the Buhler Crusaders have broken the game open here in the bottom of the fifth, scoring 5 times and batting arounds. A 2 RBI single by Lawson Schultz. Williams scores. Everybody running with 2 outs. Dylan England scores. And that'll bring up Jake Burkhart, the only player not to appear so far in this 5th inning. But first, a conversation from the mound, or to the mound, by Coach Frank Leo. And that, in all likelihood, will be doing it for Marcus Altman. Boy, a leadoff walk and then an error, and that's going to do it. Pitching change brought to you today by Dick Schmidt with Crop Production Services of Ellis, Hayes, and La Crosse, saying thank you to all the area producers for your support over the past 3 years. Their focus is on the right seed, nutrients, crop protection products, advice on every acre. Contact Dick Schmidt, 731-5413. The Hayes High Indians are going to bring in to pitch Cole Murphy. Murphy on the season making his 3rd appearance. This is his first appearance in relief, a 3.61 ERA. He's thrown 9 2/3 innings, 5 runs, all earns, 11 hits in those 9 innings, 6 walks, 10 strikeouts, an 0-1 record. Went 6 1/3 innings against Garden City in his last outing. Gave up 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned. He went 6 1/3, was lifted in the 7th. He had taken a shutout there. Garden City ended up scoring 5 and winning the game 5-3. Garden City has broken the game open with 5 in the bottom of the 5th. It was a 1-0 game. The inning started with a walk, a strikeout, then an error, and Buhler has capitalized on the error. So Marcus, his day is done, allowing 6 hits, 5 runs, 6 runs. He strikes out 4 and walks 3 today. The runner at first is still his responsibility as Cole Murphy faces Jake Burkhart, the first baseman. First pitch from Burkhart is a steal attempt. Boy, Burkhart lunging way out across the plate. That should have been, you can argue, catcher interference, or rather batter interference. Burkhart lunged way out over the plate with Harmon trying to throw to second on the steal attempt. I mean, that pitch wasn't even close to being cut on. The steal right now for Schultz, he's at second. But Burkhart lunges way across the plate. Frank Leo out to argue batter interference. It is not going to be availed at all. Boy, and that's what Frank Leo's saying. There are 3 guys here that you can talk about this with. 3 umpires here in the regional. The conversation is going to be had. And there is a legitimate talk here because Burkhart ended up across home plate and in the right-handed batter's box. Will they ring up the outs? They will on the catcher, on the batter interference, and that's the inning. So 1 pitch, the inning is over. Hayes High down 6-0. Bottom of the 5th is complete, but the Indians down by 6 and have a lot of room or a lot of work to do heading to the 6th here at Hayes High Indian Baseball. That's the right call. That's terrible. To the top of the sixth inning, Hayes High comes to the plate down 6 runs. It took Cole Murphy one pitch to get out of the bottom of the fifth inning. Umpires got together and made the right call. Jake Burkhart was standing on home plate with Dawson Harmon trying to throw out the runner at second. Batter interference was called. The out was recorded, and Hayes High gave up 5 runs in the fifth, facing Jack Gertson now. Update from the Hayes High softball regional. The Indians lead Buhler 5-3 through 5.5 innings. Hayes High struggling with the winless Buhler Crusaders in softball. So Hayes High to face Gertson, who's thrown 77 pitches in 5 innings. Connor Rule, Marcus Altman, and Braden Delzite, the same way the Indians led off the 4th inning. Rule 0 for 2 today, a ground out and a fly ball to left field. See if Rule can get on to lead off the 6th and get something going for the Indians as they trail 6-0 in the top of the 6th. The pitch on the way from Gertson. Rule takes 1-0. It's been an adventure for Jack Gertson, the pitcher for Buhler today. He has lived for the most part outside the strike zone. Pitch on the way from Rule. He'll take a strike this time, 1-1. Indian baseball brought to you by Carrico Implement, Home Steel Siding and Windows, Thirsties, and G&L Tire and Automotive. The lefty Gertson deals to Rule. Rule, a single into right field. The Indians' second hit. That's their first hard hit single, and the Indians a leadoff runner aboard for Marcus Altman. For Connor, that is hit number 82.
Now batting is Marcus Altman.
He is 8th all-time in hits at Hayes High, now tied for 7th with Doug Dreyer. That'll bring up Marcus Altman, the now exited pitcher from the ball game. The pitch on the way is a called strike to Altman, 0-1. Altman today 0 for 2, a ground out and a strikeout, but on the strikeout he reached on a throwing error on a drop third strike. Pitch to Altman, misses, 1-1. Altman trying to join the 400 club, but more importantly, give his team some runners here in the 6th. The pitch to Altman, misses, 2-1. Indians have, for the most part, at the plate, worked ahead in the pitch count, but have not been able to capitalize. Just 2 hits. One by Armstrong, one by Rule. That one misses, 3-1. Today, Gertson has walked just 2, Armstrong and Shoemaker. Rule at first. Not a large lead by any means. The 3-1 on the way is a walk, ball 4. The third walk of the day, and the Indians for the first time have runners in scoring position with not 2 outs, if that makes enough sense. That'll bring up Braden Delzite, the designated hitter. 0 for 2 today, a pair of ground balls to the left side, one to the shortstop that went off the leg of Jack Gertson back in the 2nd inning. It was a hard hit ball. If it goes over the mound, it's a single. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Pitch to Delzite high, 1-0. Delzite this year, 400, 0 for 2 today, now 22 for 57. Indians down 6-0, trying to stage a late inning rally. 2 on, nobody out. Pitch to Delzite. That one is missing, 2-0. Rule a single, Altman a 5-pitch walk. Now Gertson a little more time off the mound. Rule at second, Altman at first. See if Delzite can come through for the Indians. Pitch to Delzite. That one hits the strike zone, 2-1. Wanted to make sure that Gertson was going to throw into the strike zone. Delzite, 16 runs driven in. Had 15 hits all last year, 22 this year. Fouls one back into the screen. 2-2 on what was probably ball 3. Jared Haynes on deck. 2 on, nobody out. This is the Indians' really best opportunity to score. They had a runner at second twice with 1 out, and a runner at third twice with 2 outs. Nobody advancing home. Indians down 6-0. Top of the sixth. Pitch on the way to Delzite. A called strike three. Delzite down looking. Boy, that's a tough strike to take. That got everybody by surprise. And that is strikeout number 4 of the day for Braden Delzite, or for Jack Gertson. So 2 on, 1 out for Jared Haynes. The Indians' first baseman 0 for 2. Pitch to Haynes. That one is a called strike, 0-1. Indians got a leadoff single from Rule. A walk to Marcus Altman, who honestly walked on a closer pitch than what Delzite just took for a strikeout looking. Pitch on the way, Haynes fouls it to the third base dugout. It's 0-2. Haynes 0 for 2. Gertson working a 2-hitter right now against the Hayes High Indians for Buhler. The pitch on the way to Haynes, outside, 1-2. 77 pitches through 5 innings for Gertson. Indians forcing his pitch count higher here in the 6th, but I don't think that at this point really matters at all. Gertson looking like he'll go the distance regardless. Pitch on the way, that one low, 2-2. Good eye by Jared Haynes. Indians trying somehow to manufacture some runs in the 6th and 7th. Down 6-0 in the top of the 6th. Don't want to make this a 7th inning ball game. And now the scoreboard shows 3-2. The umpires get together. It is 2-2, and the dugout from Buhler wanting to make sure that it was 2-2. I think everybody assumed that was still the count. The scoreboard had it incorrect, and so the Buhler coaching staff wanted to make sure his players weren't on the wrong impression of the pitch count. So Gertson to work the 2-2 to Haynes. Haynes fell behind 0-2, now 2-2. And Haynes calls for time as Gertson takes too much time. And everybody will reset. Rule at second singled, move to second base on the Marcus Altman walk. And then Delzite struck out looking, swing and a miss. Haynes down on strikes, and there's 2 away. Off-speed pitch got Haynes swinging, and that'll bring up Jarrett Fonenstiel. And I'll see if Jarrett can come through for the Indians. 0 for 2 today. A couple of flyouts, one to center field, one in foul territory to the first baseman. Indians 2 on, no out. Now 2 on, 2 out, and nobody's advanced. Indians down 6-0, top of the 6th inning. Pitch to Jarrett. Taken for a ball, 1-0. Indian baseball brought to you by Next Tech Wireless, Hayes Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Steel Fabrications. Fonenstiel waiting at the plate for Gertson to deal. The lefty from the stretch. Rule at second. Pitch on the way. Fonenstiel check swing. Fouls it away. 1-1. Fonenstiel looking for hit number 23 of the year. 22 for 55 now. Keeps his average right around 400. Has hit safely in 25 of his last 30 games dating back to his junior season. Really came on strong at the end of 2015. The pitch to Fonenstiel. Called strike, 1-2. Indians are down to their last 4 outs, down 6-0, top of the 6th. Fonenstiel from the right side. 2 on, 2 out. It was 2 on, no out. Pitch on the way to Fonenstiel. Held back on the bat, and it's 2-2. Jarrett wanted to trigger. It was low, and Fonenstiel held back. Can he get a pitch to handle and give the Indians a breath of life in the 6th? Indians thought they had it with 2 on and nobody out. The pitch to Fonenstiel, hit to right field. Charging in is the right fielder, Dylan England, to make the catch. And the inning is over. Hayes High gets 2 on with nobody out, but they do not advance the runners. They do not score. After the top half of the 6th, Hayes High trails Buhler at the regional tournament in McPherson 6-0 This is Hayes High Indian baseball. They were leading through 5.5 innings. Yeah. Hey Britt, what we'll do is we will, if they're getting ready to start there, we will bail out of the post game just almost as soon as we can. So is what in town? Whose other game? John it's in Hayes. To the home half of the sixth, where the Buhler Crusaders lead the Hayes High Indians 6-0, a 5-run fifth on a walk and an error, and then 3 singles, and Hayes High finds themselves in a 6-0 hole. 6 hits, 6 runs today for Buhler. Indians with 1 lone error, and it was a big one. It will be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters coming to the plate. It'll be Jake Burkhart to face Cole Murphy. First pitch misses 1-0. Burkhart was at the plate back in the 5th inning, and on a stolen base attempt, he went way across home plate and into the right-handed batter's boxes. He's a lefty. To swing at a pitch to disrupt the throw of Dawson Harmon. He was called for batter interference, pops one up, charging in from the shortstop spot will be Drew Young for the outs. Burkhart, he was called out. Well, Schultz was called out at second because of the batter interference. Burkhart now out in the bottom of the 6th and is 1 for 3 today. That'll bring up Riley Dreyer, the designated hitter. He's appeared twice, walked twice. He led off the 5th with a walk, and that's what started the trouble for the Indians, as Murphy deals, misses 1-0 to Dreyer. He scored in the 5th, and that eventually opened up the gates. Pitch on the way. That one popped up. Foul territory. Harmon gives chase in foul territory and makes the catch for the outs. Good concentration by Dawson Harmon, who flipped the mask down, made his way to the on-deck circle on the Hayes High side of the field. And Cole Murphy has retired 2 batters on 5 pitches, bringing up the 9-hitter, Gus Quillen, who was struck out twice today, both against Marcus Altman. 2 out, bottom of the 6th. Pitch on the way for Murphy. Pitch, an off-speed pitch, misses 1-0. Murphy from the left side struck out twice, ending the 2nd inning, and struck out in the 5th inning. After Dreyer walked in the 5th, Quillen struck out, and the Indians' Marcus Altman got wiped into a grounder that could have resulted in a double play, resulted in an error and no outs. Here's a well-hit ball center field. The Indians' Altman ranging over to make the catch, and that's the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Hayes High down to their final 3 outs. They need to come up with at least 6 runs in the 7th. We're back to McPherson on Hayes High Indian baseball. And Britt, what we'll have to do is we'll have to we'll disconnect so then John can get connected. Yeah, but we both can't be on at the same time. Oh, definitely, if not more than one.
This 2016 postseason broadcast is brought to you by Thomas More Prep Marion alumni, Worlds of Opportunity, Investing for Eternity. Walmart Superstore. Save money, live better, Walmart. Lifetime Dental Care, Health, Function, Beauty. Bacon Wright Appraising Services. They're certified to provide appraisals for your next transaction. Carico Implement. Pleased to offer the John Deere line of equipment from farm tractors to lawn and gardening.
Hayes High Indian Baseball is brought to you by Discovery Drilling, Hayes Chevrolet, Bernie's Hamburger House, and Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Right fielder Jace Armstrong, left fielder Cole Shoemaker in the hole.
100 pitches today for Jack Gertson, and he's back out to face the Indians' 8, 9, and 1 hitters. It is Drew Young, Jace Armstrong, Cole Shoemaker, if everybody remains the same. Young robbed of a hit back in the 5th. He's 0 for 2 today. Foul tips the first pitch, 0-1. Indians just 2 hits today. They have not advanced runners with the opportunity. Pitch to Young, swing and a miss, 0-2. And it is often that in that 7th inning, you try to make something happen. You start swinging at pitches outside the strike zone. Young did on that one there. The 0-2 to Young, swing, and he just gets a piece of it to remain at the plate, 0-2. Indians need 6 to tie and at least force a bottom of the 7th inning. 1 run in the 2nd for Buhler, 5 in the 5th. Young stands at the plate. Gertson deals the 0-2 again. Called strike 3. Young down on strike. 6th strikeout of the day for Jack Gertson. And the Indians down to their final 2 outs. Jace Armstrong. One of the Indians' 2 hits. And it will be Armstrong to the plate, who's been on board twice today, a walk and a single. He also stole a base. To face Gertson in the 9th spot, takes high, 1-0. Armstrong worked the count full, 3-2 back in the 3rd, then walked, and then singled on the first pitch that he saw in the 5th. A 250 hitter this year, pitch on the way, misses. Oh, no, called strike, 1-1. Indians just trying to, in the least, get runners on and make it interesting. Down 6-0. The pitch from Gertson. Misses, 2-1. Gertson with 100 pitches through 6 innings in this game. Velocity still there. Pitch to Armstrong. Misses, 3-1. Gertson has really been frustrated today with his control, but you would not know it in the way that he deals. It's in between. The pitch to Armstrong misses. Armstrong walks for a 2nd time today, and the Indians get a runner on to try to force some action. 4th walk by Gertson. He has struck out 6, and that brings up the Indians' top of the order, Cole Shoemaker. 0 for 1 today. Struck out on a sacrifice bunt, and walked. In that order. The throw over to first, Armstrong back. Armstrong did steal a base back in the 5th, but was left stranded. Indians down 6-0, top of the 7th. Need 6 to force at least a bottom of the 7th. Pitch low, and in the dirt, Shoemaker takes 1-0. Shoemaker, the all-time walks leader in Hayes High history. With the 1 today, 53 all-time. Tied a school record with 25 as a junior. The pitch on the way to Shoemaker. Takes it for a strike, 1-1. Shoemaker from that right side, trying to move Armstrong up and get on himself. Indians down 6-0. Pitch to Shoemaker. Above the letters, 2-1. Jack Gertson has gone the distance so far for Buhler and comes back out with a 6-0 lead, having thrown 100 now plus pitches. Shoemaker fouls it away, 2-2. Indians down to their final 2 outs, trailing 6-0. A big bottom of the 5th inning for Buhler blew it open. Indians were down 1-0 entering that bottom of the 5th. A walk, an error, and that's so far the difference. Now a ball bounces on the plate. The catcher, Schultz, can't keep it in front of him. Advancing to second is Armstrong. And give Lawson Schultz credit today. It's been a frustrating day on a couple of drop third strikes, but he has blocked a bunch of pitches in the dirt that could have advanced runners throughout the day. Hayes High softball wins their regional opener against Buhler 11-3. TMP baseball falls to Lakin 7-1. Their season comes to a close at the 3A regional. The 3-2 to Shoemaker. Lifts it to right field, where Dylan England will back up, make the catch. Armstrong will hold at seconds. And there's 2 away, and the Indians down to their final outs. Bringing up Dalton Stout, Hayes High down to their final out of the season. They need some weird sort of 6-run, 2-out rally here in the 7th. Armstrong at seconds. Stout at the plate, 0 for 3, 0 for 2 today. Out on a sacrifice bunt, a strikeout looking, and a fly ball to right field where he sends this one, and the Indian season is complete. They fall today 6-0 to the Buhler Crusaders. Hayes High finishes the year at 12-9. A 2-hit performance by pitcher Jack Gertson for the Buhler Crusaders ends the Indians' year at 12-9. Buhler 16-5. They go on to face the McPherson Bullpups, who are also 16-5 for the regional championship. It's a rematch of last year's championship. The two teams split their 2 games earlier this season. Final score 6-0. The loss goes to Marcus Altman. The win to Jack Gertson for Hayes High Indian Baseball. I'm Dustin Armbruster. All right, we're going to try to